Yes, welcome, or it might be welcome back to the Fiercely Fulfilled Feminine YouTube channel. We're going to talk today, deep in it. I'm going to share with you four indications that potentially you might not be meant to come into physical reunion with your twin flame, perhaps in this lifetime, or maybe not just yet. Here's the deal, though. I'd like to preface this with something because already you may be triggered, as in, oh, dagger to the heart. I know I was. Here's the deal. Let me share this first before I continue. If you're here, I'm going to let you know you are not meant to experience an ongoing solo journey. Love is guaranteed, divine partnership is guaranteed. It's just not necessarily going to be with the one you might have thought it would be with. So let me just preface it with that. And I'm not going to go into why you showing up here guarantees that for you. You can drop it in the comments if you like, or we can save it for another day. At any rate, I'm going to share four indications. I'm then going to talk about from like a more physical aspect as well as the spiritual aspect of the push-pull dynamic and that energy and just the avoidant attachment style in particular, because if you're here, you're likely a divine feminine, you're likely to lead, and you have dealt with suffering and loneliness and pain and heartache and grief, and you're just waiting and waiting for things to get better, and they haven't. And it's probably been years, and you're just done, confused, full of doubt. What do you do? I got you. I'm here because I've been there too. I'm going to reframe part of your journey so that you don't have to take on any more shame, so you can just let it all go. Very powerful reframing so that you know that you are exactly where you are meant to be and that whatever you've experienced up until this point is something that you were meant to experience. So, with that being said, I'm going to reintroduce myself as Ann Hayes, aka Mama G, a feminine sovereignty and sacred sexuality mentor who empowers twin flames to alchemize sexual trauma into embodied power with my sacred sexuality reclamation method so that you can experience true intimacy, lasting fulfillment, and radiant feminine sovereignty. Yes, before I continue, let me also share that I've got a new 5-day online event happening next week, August 10th, within the energies of the Lionsgate portal. Liberate your feminine essence, alchemizing sexual shame. Yes, 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 whether it's from trauma or family conditioning or societal programming, this is for you for just $11.11. Love that numerology. This is for you. Heart alchemy, tantric techniques, sexual sublimation, wrapping it all up and bringing it all together, connecting the sacral to the heart to the sacral. Yes, and as someone who is on a twin flame journey, if you are a twin flame, I get it. If you've experienced sexual trauma, sexual assault, I get it. This is for you if you would like to experience deeper connection, deeper self-trust, to embody a deeper sense of safety within, to feel more confident, to be able to experience authentic pleasure. This is for you. Grab that link in the description. Okay, without further ado, let's continue. Yes. Okay, so you may have, if you're here, you've likely been on the twin flame journey for at least a few years, at least a couple of years, likely longer than that. You have either been in prolonged separation with no contact, no communication, potentially even blocked or not. You've potentially been in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out for a very long period of time without the ability to be able to sustain with the relationship. Or worse, perhaps you've been with your twin flame, your divine counterpart, for years and you've just come out of it. Or you're still in it and yet there's just not that sense of bliss. There's not that sense of consistent harmony and peace that you believe you should be experiencing right now. Perhaps you're not having an experience of the kind of intimacy you would like. That is something that is reflective of a true partnership and a true loving connection. Because for some reason You believe that you're meant to stay with this person. Maybe you are, maybe you aren't, because that's part of it too. There are so many different nuances. There are some twin flames that make it through. I'm not going to talk about the harmonic universes right now. I'm not going to talk about the ascension as far as into remembering different elevated levels of consciousness. I'm going to bring it more into the 3D today because there's not enough that's talked about within the 3D. We're here to embody heaven on earth. We're not here to transcend, we're here to embody. So, yes, do I believe that we need to talk about human behavior, psychology, biology, neurology? Yes, indeed, all of it. So, I'm going to give a little bit of a different perspective on the push pull dynamic and what it actually could mean in your particular situation on your journey. First, let's talk about those 4 indications. Okay. Number 1, if you've been in prolonged separation, I'm talking about years, no communication, no contact, blocked. Perhaps if your divine counterpart is married or they're in another connection, they're in another relationship, and it's been a long-term relationship, good chance that you may not necessarily been meant to come into physical reunion, at least not right now. Another one is with this is extreme polarities. If you have extreme polarities, I'm not just talking about big age gaps, ethnic differences. I mean, like, if you're here, there's probably some aspect of addiction. There's probably some aspect of perhaps an avoidant personality. There's some aspect of false empowerment with regard to your divine masculine that may match your equal degree of disempowerment, at least at one time, maybe not at this time. If you're here, unlikely that's happening right now. And I'm kind of wrapping this all together as one. And if you're experiencing someone who is a severe dismissive avoidant, yeah, you can put a label on that. There were some within the twin flame collective who were like, no, this is a spiritual journey, and you can't put a label like that on somebody. Guess what? There's a reason that those diagnoses exist because it is research based, it is scientifically backed and researched, observed, measured. This is neurology. This is the nervous system. These are brain patterns and brain waves. This is real. And so, yes, in most instances, through my observation, and you may agree or not, the divine masculine, which is the anchor in this connection. I'm not going to talk about the spiritual aspect of it right now, is often experience the type of trauma that lends itself to an expression as a dismissive avoidant. I did a whole nother video on attachment styles, insecure attachment styles in particular. If you're not sure what those are or you'd like a review, stay tuned because I'm going to include that in the description. I'm going to include it at the end of this video, is where the DM is often the love avoidant and the DF or the lead is often the love attached, I think is how I described it. Okay, so that's the anxious attached. Now, I'm not trying to say, oh, divine feminine, you got nothing, you got to deal with, blah, blah, blah. Listen, I'm here for the divine feminines right now. I'm here for those who are likely monadic twin flames. I'm here for those who've done the deep, deep, deep level shadow work. They've been in it. They've been in it. Okay. And there's something missing. Okay. And they're ready. They're ready for that divine partnership. So that's where my focus is today. If you're a divine masculine, just chime in. Maybe you're meant to this is a reminder for you to start to look at your own patterns. Okay. Maybe you have, and you are showing up for your divine feminine. If that's you, drop that in the comments and give others some hope and some upliftment, and just something to cheer you on that you made it and that you're doing the work. Okay, so again, let's review that number 1. That was number 1. Prolonged separation, no communication, blocked, no contact. We're talking years, like Zero, nada, nothing. Okay. And that is often, to me, that's like extreme polarities would likely create that. A marriage, if they're married, would create that, and a severe dismissive avoidant. Okay, number two, if you have experienced a push pull in and out for years, and you just haven't been able to lock it down and sustain that balanced, harmonious physical reunion, stay tuned. This is for you. Number three, if you're in physical reunion and there just seems to be this ongoing level of unhealthy conflict, it feels toxic. Your nervous system gets wired. You feel like you're always triggering each other's wounding, and there's not enough peace. There's not enough harmony in the connection. There's not the kind of intimacy that you believe you should be experiencing in a loving connection. This is for you. Number four, if you often feel anxious about the stress of trying to balance the connection because you're afraid that if you don't, you say the wrong thing, you do the wrong thing, you shed a tear, you don't shed a tear, that your DM, the anchor, is going to take off. That's not going to do your nervous system any justice to continue here. Here's the deal. You are here. Ultimately, I'm reminding you, because this is what I've had to remind myself of and allowed others to do this for me. This is truly a self-love journey. And love is guaranteed if you choose. You get to choose how long you stay in this dynamic if you're in physical reunion, if you're in a push-pull, even if you're no contact block, you get to decide how long how much you invest in this connection, because it's an energetic connection wherever you are. You are always going to be connected to this person. That's what I truly believe. And you may or may not agree, and that's fine. And you are always going, this person is always going to allow you to be able to grow in some way, whether you're conscious of it or not. For me, it's an energetic, it's a telepathic connection. I have grown tremendously because of this person, who I believe is a severe dismissive avoidant. Yeah, I put that label down there because part of it is what this person is telling me telepathically. They're telling me, they're showing me, because it's not like I've been all up in their business. There's stuff that the divine has shown me, that my divine counterpart has shown me. There's just conversations. I can't explain it. You know, though, if you're here. And so this connection for me is real. And if you're here, I'm going to validate you that likely your connection is just as real. Now, there are a lot of different theories before I continue as far as, okay, does it mean that, you know, there's a certain amount of correlation? Do I end up with somebody else and then come back around? Or do I just continue to move forward? I never see them again and I come into partnership with somebody else. There's so many different ways that can unfold. I don't even want to begin to theorize or hypothesize or try to pretend like I know all the answers, because I don't. And you're not meant to. And if you're here, you've had to experience a certain level of uncertainty, and that's what's caused some of the pain. Okay, so those are the four indications. Okay, now let's talk about push-pull. Okay, push-pull, if you look from a spiritual aspect, is something energetic. They talk about, like in a split soul connection, there's a lot of talk within the Twin Flame Collective about one twin, incarnated twin, representing dominant feminine energy and the other one dominant masculine energy, and that they're constantly balancing these energies. Okay, I believe that very well is real to the real to the real. Okay, I'm not going to refute that. I'm not going to validate that. I'm just going to say that's part of what's out there. I'm going to bring it down into physicality, to the real, to the real, to the real, where we're talking about human biology. There's a lot of talk about nervous system regulation. There's so much trauma within the twin flame community. There's so much wounding. And if you know anything about the avoidant attachment style and the anxious attachment style, and this is just bringing it right down to psychology, neurology, and human behavior, you're going to experience a push-pull. And I did a whole nother video on that as well. I'm not going to go into the details of that right now. So that is not just energetic in nature. It has to do with subconscious, conscious patterning, psychology, and the nervous system, and constantly being dysregulated. You see, the nervous system is the interface between the body and spirit. And that includes it. You got to have the mind, spirit, body, all have to be on board together, aligned if you're to step into a new identity. And that identity is from, let's say, from that wounded aspect in a child expression that has you had you showing up in relations that were toxic and unhealthy, to somebody who's now reparented themselves and can now feels calm enough to be able to connect, to engage, to be emotionally vulnerable, to be patient, compassionate, and loving in connection with, in relation with another human being, whether it's your twin flame or not. This is like 3D stuff, okay? Here's the deal. Let me talk about the avoidant attachment style. And I'm not an avoidant. I was that anxious attached. I was not that avoidant. Although I avoided, we all avoid in some way, whether anxious attached or not. There's no true intimacy if you have an insecure attachment style. So let's just put that in there. Here's the deal. An avoidant, the push-pull, if you haven't heard this yet, it is, yeah, we could say, okay, they come in and you're meant to activate each other. I'd say that's totally legit. You know, hopefully you're going to each go back and you're going to heal some more, come back again, and then you're going to continue to increase the capacity for the nervous system to be able to hold and sustain a connection that is more or less sustainable, harmonious, and balanced. You know, however, I believe it's a constant dance. So when that comes back in, and you know, divine feminine goes and does her thing, divine masculine goes and does his thing, hopefully that's the way they're doing it, then great, you're going to be able to increase the capacity of the nervous system, as I said, to hold that connection, that relation. Let's call it a relationship. Come on now. Yeah, call it a relationship, please. Okay. So here's the deal though. For the avoidant, the nervous system, what happens is they will pull away, and you probably already know this, because the nervous system cannot handle the depth of vulnerability and exposure and intimacy that is required, let's say, beyond like 3 months, maybe more, maybe less. That's the bubble up phase. The bubble up phase is literally the avoidance nervous system that is excited about this new love, that feels the love just as much as you do, that wants it, that deeply desires the connection. That's the bubble up phase, which doesn't end just because the divine says, whoop, okay, we got to separate yourself. No, it is physiology just as much. It is physiology. It's the nervous system that is speaking to the body, unconsciously, subconsciously, to this avoidant that says, oh, hold up, wait a minute. We've got to go back into survival mode. You've got to get out of this. Is a dangerous situation. It's not safe. Because in the past, when you've tried to share your emotions, you were shut down, you were shamed, maybe you were even hurt, you were ignored, somebody walked away and you didn't matter. So you've got to go and just take care of yourself right now. And this is what literally will go on in an avoidance mind. And this is not coming from me. This is coming from somebody who was an actual avoidant, a healed avoidant who's still healing, who's telling you firsthand. It's not from me. This is from an avoidant. This is what he said. Number one, they got to get away because it just feels too overwhelming. It's scary to them. Number two, they will start to devalue you. They will find everything wrong with you that they possibly can. They will find everything that they feel was possibly wrong within the connection or the relationship, depending on what it was for you. That's their mind trying to rationalize why their body is reacting the way they do because they do not yet recognize and understand their patterns. So they distance, they run, quote unquote. They devalue, they rationalize, they tell themselves that you were not the right one. And they truly, truly believe that because what happens, and you already know this, they feel that relief. That's the nervous system, you know, just calming down. It's really all about the nervous system, which is why they start to feel better. They, like I said before, they don't know why they start to feel better, at least initially, yet that's what it is. Because the nervous system can chill out now. They're not on the flight, freeze, whatever mode. They're like, doo, doo, doo. The red alert is gone. And it's all good. It's all good and good to go right now, all kosher. Back into the safety zone, into isolation. Okay, except it's not always isolation. So they rationalize, they say you were not the one, and we all know this. Some of them will keep themselves busy. They will work a lot. They might travel a lot. They might have a lot of friends. They might, drink a lot, go out to bars a lot. They might have a lot of sex. In fact, sex addiction is very common aspect of the avoidant personality because here's the deal. An avoidant personality, and this is not done on a conscious level, will act in a way or do things not just to distract themselves from the pain of not having that connection, continued connection with you. It's actually, and this is going to sound not nice, but like I said, it's not conscious. They will do things, say things to make you go cold so that they can further justify why they had to step away, why you're not the right one. I know it hurts. It hurts. Yet that is a mechanism of subconscious programming in the nervous system just trying to regulate itself. Okay, so it's all about nervous system dysregulation. Okay, so honestly, they also believe that, hey, I had the courage to move on. This wasn't the right one for me, it wasn't meant to be, and I'm going to be the strong one, and I have the courage to move on from this, even though the love seemed real, not the right one. Truly, truly believe that it is a courageous act. And for many avoidants, so I shouldn't say many, for some, they will go deeper into addiction. They will go and find another woman, call it a karmic, whatever you want. The reason is because they still want that connection. They they like the feeling of being in love, and they will feel like they're in love and they'll feel safe enough, and yet they'll hit that quote unquote end of that bubble phase, and the same thing will happen. And it might be you. They might be coming in and out with you. That is the nervous system that says, okay, it's good to go to a certain point, but then now I got to back up and back out. And I know some divine feminines who've been in physical reunion with their divine masculine 5 years, 10 years even, and boom, up and left the divine masculine. It got to be too much. If that's not painful, I don't know what is. That's a deep level of wounding that I do not believe is intentional by the divine masculine, yet it happens. So the divine masculine is not doing the inner shadow work because they do have free will. Because here's the other thing. If you heal to a certain point and you align with your soul and you surrender to a certain point, your divine masculine has to come in. I don't believe that that's necessarily the case. I believe that you prepare yourself for the type of love that you decide you're worthy of. And that may or may not be a divine masculine. It may be another divine partner, a divine counterpart. And the ability is to be able to, and that's where the surrender comes in, where it's like, okay, I'm just good to go. Let me enjoy my life. Let me show up, do what I came here to do, find my community, and you can still love your divine masculine. Okay, I love my twin flame. That love will never go away. But does that mean that I want to be with my twin flame? Not necessarily. Right now I can tell you that I don't really have a desire. That doesn't mean I don't love her. It's just I don't have that desire because I truly believe that there's somebody who can meet me at my level of consciousness, and I don't have to wait for my twin flame to reach that same level of consciousness because she may or may not. And either way, it's good to go. It's her experience and it's all divine. It's all divine. Okay. Absolutely divine. Okay. So that's where I'm at. So okay. I know this is a lot. I know this is a lot. And yet it's really important because all of this is coming out right now. There's all these revelations on this journey. Like, what the, okay? What happened? Okay. This is what's happened because you're meant to just surrender and step into that partnership that can meet you at your level of consciousness. Okay, so let's do, like I promised, a little bit of reframing. Now, if you feel like, first of all, the love is, the love was, and still is real. The love was not made up. Your DM felt it. You felt it. That love was real, and it's still real. So I would say, stop blaming yourself. I know I did that. Maybe you chased too much, too much tech, whatever. It's not your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. Instead, grieve because this is you felt the love. And so when a love walks away, that depth of love walks away from you. It is like a death and it has to be grieved. It doesn't mean you weren't loved, yet because of your divine masculine's own wounding, they could not express that love to you. And they still can't if they haven't shown up and you're showing up for you. I'm not saying they won't. They may show up tomorrow. Yet grieve it. And do not shame yourself for grieving it. I have grieved so deeply this connection or the loss of, I call it a lost love. You can't really lose love because that's an illusion. Yeah, we're in 3D physicality. We've created overlays. We've created the illusion of separation because those even who are in physical reunion, if for some reason that TF were to walk away tomorrow, please do not tell me that would not affect the person who stays behind because it's happened and it hurts. Okay, from what others have shared. And like I said, I have grieved very, very deeply this connection. Um, and don't shame yourself for it. That's why I do a lot of heart alchemy with what I do with my clients and with myself still. There's a lot with energy, sexual energy that I use to help to sublimate and transmute the feeling, the pain of shame and rejection and wounding and abandonment, and then connecting the heart and doing the best to open that heart up again and connecting to the immortal heart, the higher heart of unconditional love and compassion for oneself first. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to tell you right now, quick, easiest way. If you find that you need a good cry, you're feeling heavy, your eyes are watery, you're sad, Ho'oponopono prayer. I'm going to drop that link in the description too. I have a specific song with a specific frequency that actually shares the prayer in some different languages that is so beautiful and it can very easily stimulate an emotional purge, an emotional release. So grieve, grieve. Okay, now here's the deal. That's the first reframe. You're meant to grieve because the love was real. Um, Number two, feel like you've been waiting? I know I was. It was like, okay, okay, okay. I'm told that if I do this and I do, they're all saying, oh, don't do the work. Come on now. In the back of your mind, this is real to the real because we're human. If you're anything like me, oh my God, I know. We're getting closer because I see the depth of transformation that I've made. Don't shame yourself. If you feel like you've waited, you were meant to wait. Here's the deal, because the waiting is part of the grieving process. It's part of the transfiguration. The waiting is you being in the cocoon. And here's the thing, you do not want to rip open a cocoon before that caterpillar has completed its metamorphosis. You want to come out as this beautiful, light, delicate butterfly, and you want to just fly away and rise in your sovereignty. Okay, so there is no real such thing as waiting. You're cocooning. Waiting is not waiting. You are cocooning according to your encoded divine design that said you're going to be pulled back in again and again so that you can continue to cocoon. There it is. Okay. So if you're still here and you're like, I'm done with that, know that love is guaranteed. Surrender. However, if you feel as though you've still got some, you would like some support as far as alchemizing the pain of feeling rejected, the shame of feeling like you didn't get it right because others are maintaining sustainable union, others have come into union, okay? And you feel like you want to just kind of be at peace and you want some support in grieving that right here. Okay, I mentioned it, I'm going to mention it again. Liberate your feminine essence, shedding sexual shame. Because if you're here, the sex you may have had with your partner or didn't have, even if you had telepathy, you were ashamed and said, oh my goodness, you should be doing that. Let's let it all go. The shame of thinking you were waiting, the shame of why couldn't I get it to work? All that. That's just old, tired, distorted sexual energy that I can empower you to transmute. And so here's your opportunity next week, August 10th, right in the thick of the Lionsgate portal energy to set you up perfectly for the upcoming year for the kind of life that you deserve. That fulfillment, that intimacy, beginning with you first in pleasure, not just in a good decadent brownie. I'm talking about full body pleasure. I'm talking the kind of pleasure that you shouldn't be ashamed to offer yourself and then to ask for somebody else. I love you so much. I pray that this helped. Please give me a like, give the channel a like, share it, make a comment, keep it nice, keep it kind, reach out if you need, grab those links in the description. Also, there's another video that my twin sister and I did around this whole subject. Take a look at that one. That was like the last one that popped up on this channel. There it is again, again, and again. You've been cocooning. Grieve that shit. Grieve it out. You did nothing wrong. You got this. Love you so much. Peace.